guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to talk about Jackie Aina's near 15-minute Snapchat rant, calling out Jamie Kern-Lima, the founder and CEO of IT Cosmetics. But first, I just want to preface the video by saying that initially I went into this video looking to spill the tea, but I quickly realized that this isn't tea. This is a problem and this is a real-life struggle for people of color in the beauty industry. I thought I knew, but I had no idea. I didn't truly get it until I watched Jackie's Snap. I talk a lot of shit about these influencers, but today I have been humbled and educated, so although, as I said, this isn't tea necessarily, it's an important issue that needs to be heard, and maybe hearing Jackie break it down will put things in perspective for you as it did for me, so let's get into it. Now, in case you're not aware, in 2016, IT Cosmetics was acquired by L'Oreal in its largest acquisition in L'Oreal's history at $1.2 billion. Recently, Jamie Kern-Lima, who is the founder and CEO of IT Cosmetics, was honored with the Cosmetic Executive Woman Achiever Award and gave a speech which has since gone viral, currently sitting at over 1 million views on IT Cosmetics' Facebook page. I'll play the video. I know it's a little long, but I think it's important for you to see it in its entirety if you haven't seen it already, because to me, it's interesting to watch someone preach about how it's time for change in the beauty community, yet be so completely oblivious as to how she and her company play significant roles in perpetuating the issue.
In the early years of IT Cosmetics, I heard no more times than I can count. No from every retailer and no from just about everyone. I was still running the brand out of my living room a few years in, and I really didn't know how we were going to stay alive. And a defining moment happened. I met with a potential investor who was a pretty big deal in private equity at the time. And after diligence, he decided to pass on investing in IT Cosmetics. And I'll never forget when I asked him why. He said to me, "I'm just not sure women would buy makeup from someone who looks like you, you know, with your body and your weight." And I remember looking at him straight in the eyes, kind of in shock, and then I felt something deep down inside of myself that said, no, you are wrong, and if by chance he's right, I'm gonna make it a mission to change that. And I set out to prove it, not only for myself, but for women everywhere. When we launched on QVC, September of 2010, I sought the advice of outside experts, like consultants who had achieved success there. And they told me what had to happen. They said I needed to use models that looked aspirational, which at that point had always meant the same age and flawless skin. We were given one chance to go on QVC, and we had 10 minutes to either hit numbers or not come back. And for my company, I knew everything was on the line because we could barely afford the 6,400 units of concealer that we had to sell in 10 minutes. And if we didn't succeed, we probably would have gone out of business. And I had a critical decision to make. The experts told me one thing, but my gut told me another. I couldn't get that guy out of my head who told me that women won't buy from someone who looks like me. But what my gut told me is women are tired of buying from ads and commercials who don't look like them. My gut told me if I'm shocking and maybe I'm a girl with acne, or maybe I'm 70 years old and have mature skin, or maybe I have hyperpigmentation. And I see these models on TV and in ads who are so airbrushed away, and half of them are selling anti-aging products and they're like 12 years old. And it's like, okay, if I'm deciding to buy a product, how do I know that's gonna work for me? How do I see myself in them? And I decided to literally risk everything and do things differently. We had 10 minutes on QVC, and I decided to remove my makeup and show my bright red rosacea and show live how our products work. I cast models like Helen, who's 73, and Alicia, who's African-American with acne-prone skin, and Desiree, who has hereditary under-eye circles no matter how much sleep she gets. If I looked around in the beauty industry at the time, no one had ever done this, and every indicator said it wouldn't work. We went live with 10 minutes. I was trying to show a demonstration on my hand how our concealer doesn't crease, and my hand was like this, and the host was like, "Thank you," and I was like freaking out, and I showed my bare face, and so did the real women that I cast as models. And when the sold out sign went up, I cried. I cried not only because my company was gonna stay alive, but I cried because I realized in that moment, real women let their voices be heard. They voted. And I realized we can change this. I realized in that moment, when it comes to the images that we see of beauty as women, it was a moment in time that showed me the power of the people is greater than the people in power. It was proof of an aha moment for me. It truly was, because I always wondered, is it that women will only buy cosmetics from supermodels or celebrities that are so airbrushed they don't look real anymore? Or is it that no beauty company has been willing to risk doing it differently? So I decided to grow IT Cosmetics and ignore everything being done around me in beauty. We used real women and real before and after shots. Many retailers and beauty experts told us by doing this, we didn't look luxury enough. And even though our products and formulas are superior, some retailers said our images make us look masked. But my gut told me they're wrong. Today, almost all retailers are now using before and afters, and I'm so happy about that. And when you see QVC and you turn on QVC or really any TV shopping channel, now 7 years later, you see almost all makeup brands showing real women before and afters. And when I see that, I smile, because I believe the most beautiful women are real. We come in all shapes, we come in all sizes, we come in all different hair textures, all skin tones, we come in all ages. And today, IT Cosmetics is blessed to be a top-performing brand in the retailers that we're in. And I share that because for the longest time, I believe in the beauty industry, we've bought into the notion that you have to show these unattainable images of aspiration in order to sell products. And me standing here right now, and the success of IT Cosmetics is proof that this isn't true. When we sold to L'Oreal recently in the largest acquisition in L'Oreal history, I actually got an email from that investor who passed on investing because of my weight. And by the way, had he invested, it would have been the most successful investment in his company's history. His email said, "Congratulations on your deal with L'Oreal. I was wrong." And he said he regrets his decision. It felt good for a moment, but what I realized was he had bought into that same definition of beauty that we've all been seeing our whole lives. And in the beauty industry, I'm proud of L'Oreal and the brands helping to break the mold, including casting transgender models. It's about time. But I feel like as an industry, we're still just scratching the surface of what needs to change. If we as beauty companies want every woman to buy our products, why do we show her Photoshopped images that don't look like her? And more than that, what impact do these images of beauty have on the world? And right here, right now, we're the ones that have the power to change this. Look around. Sitting in this room right now are the people who single-handedly decide the images billions of women see around the world. In this room right now are the executives from all of the top beauty brands and the next generation of decision makers for those brands. All of the most influential beauty brands in the world are right here in this room. L'Oreal, Estee Lauder, Chanel, Coty, MAC, Clinique, Lancome, YSL, Revlon, CoverGirl, KKW, Kylie, Too Faced, Dior, Huda, NARS, Glossier, and more. In this room right now, you control the images that women see globally. The images put out as what's aspirational. What starts as a marketing idea or a campaign in your offices, many just a few blocks from here, reach billions of women on a global scale. And I want you to think to yourself, and I want you to answer this question honestly. When you look at the images of models and of beauty that your brand uses, have they ever made you feel insecure or less than? Have the images you use and put out to the world empowered you, or do they make you feel disempowered? Oprah once asked the question, what will you do with the energy that is you? It's a question that's impacted my life in a great way, and today, in closing, I want to build on that question. Because each one of you in this room has a lot of power. You have a lot of power to make your mark on the beauty industry and in the world. It's easy to get caught up in the day-to-day of our jobs, looking at sales, competing for bigger numbers, getting a high when we achieve them, but today, I want to ask you to take a huge step back and think about what really matters. And what difference are you going to make on the lives of women and girls globally? What difference are you going to make in your career? How do the images you see of beauty impact you as a little girl? How do they impact you as a young woman? And how do they impact the woman you are today? How do these images of beauty impact your mothers and your sisters, and how will they impact your daughters? Each of you sitting in this room right now has the power to make the decisions to change this for other girls and for other women. You truly have all the power. You in this one room right now are the decision makers for all of the top beauty companies in the world, and you control all of the images that billions of women and girls see globally. You have all the power to change how these images shape their lives. And today, I leave each one of you with one question. What will you do with the power that is you?
So here's where Jackie Aina comes in. Teen Vogue publishes an article including the quote-unquote empowering video and praising Jamie Kern-Lima for her inspirational message calling for change in the beauty industry and for being a brand that caters to quote-unquote real women. But women of color are real women too, and yet there is actually next to no diversity in terms of shade range in the IT Cosmetics line. Like, the irony of this speech is astonishing, really. So Jackie Aina quote tweets the article from Teen Vogue and says, "So people of dark skin were just conveniently defiantly excluded from this conversation? Okay. She also went on to say, please do not applaud this woman for doing the very same thing to people of color she's trying to school other brands on not doing. Jackie took to Snapchat, and I wouldn't even call it a rant. There are rants, and then there's this, which I actually believe to be a thorough explanation of everything wrong with Jamie Kern-Lima's speech. And who better to address the issue than Jackie, who has been very outspoken and consistent in pushing for a change in the beauty industry for people of color.
Yeah, I'm so annoyed. I'm so annoyed. Like, why does the beauty industry troll so hard? Just watch.
And I realized we can change this.
You in this one room right now are the decision makers for all of the top beauty companies in the world, and you control all of the images that billions of women and girls see globally. You have all the power to change how these images shape their lives. And today, I leave each one of you with one question. What will you do with the power that is you?
In case you're wondering what I was just listening to, that was Jamie Kern-Lima, the former owner of It Cosmetics. I say former because recently she sold It Cosmetics to L'Oreal, and at that time it was like the biggest acquisition deal ever made, ever. She made $1 billion off of her cosmetic brands. Okay. Let me just explain why her seemingly inspirational speech is actually pretty ironic, contradictory, and actually insulting. I mean, look, we all know what time it is. Like, we all know for years, the darkest shade that It Cosmetics has ever carried is mud and deep dark gray and casket prepared, okay? So this woman in her speech had the nerve. I listened to the whole 10-minute speech, okay? She had the nerve to talk about her experiences because she wasn't a traditional sized woman. She wasn't a small woman. She said that she had faced discrimination because she didn't have perfect skin growing up. She basically didn't look like a supermodel. I'm fine with that. She even had the nerve to applaud the industry for recognizing the transgender community. Again, I have no problems with those things. But how come you conveniently left out people of color from this conversation? I'm so tired of the fake wokeness. Like, I really am. Like, I don't know what Fenty got y'all thinking and doing. Y'all scrambling to try to sound woke and try to sound intellectual, but really you need to just stop. Like, you just sound ridiculous, and I can't take you serious. I cannot take this woman serious at all. It's actually insulting. And I listened to her entire speech. I didn't want to judge her unfairly, and I waited, and I waited, and I waited, and I waited. I don't even know what I was expecting. I'm honestly not surprised anymore. Nothing surprises me. Okay, this is not new. It's not the first time. This is just the same crap being done in the beauty community, being swept under the rug. But what's insulting is, like, now you're just insulting our intelligence. You're trying to make yourself seem like you're inclusive, and you are giving everybody a seat at the table. No, you're not, ma'am. Not with the stuff that like the images on her website. Like, they'll always have like one token black girl. And I know you probably have to color correct those images when you put her photos up there, because y'all are playing. Y'all are really playing. And the fact that people sat there, and I'm not even trying to be shady, this is not about dragging nobody. I'm just really trying to understand the fact that all those people in that audience sat there, listened to that entire speech, which is not the first time it's been brought up, first of all, because people of color have been having these conversations for years about being inclusive, okay? We get the backlash. We get the, you're just race baiting, you're just, y'all always complain. This one got $1 billion for basically capitalizing off of what people of color have been teaching, sharing, and saying for years. So why was it revolutionary when she did it, but not when other people do? Like, I can't even take this conversation serious coming from this one person of all people. Like, she should have been the last person. She should have been the one taking notes. Now, if Lancome had delivered that speech, I'd be cool with that. But ma'am, like, I'm just so over the beauty community talking about wanting to be inclusive and not actually doing anything about it. Like, people really do not understand. Like, I put my career on the line every single day by having the conversations that I have, and by really being like one of the most vocal and visible Black beauty vloggers. I put my career on the line every single day. Every single day. Even when a lot of times I get criticized for it. And it's just kind of like the fact that this person who's literally in some ways done the opposite of being inclusive gets to piggyback off of that and like use that for clout and use that to her advantage. Nah. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Don't insult our intelligence. Like, please stop. It's like people care about inclusivity until it comes to servicing those of us that have darker skin, deep dark skin, you know? They're like, yeah, inclusive. What about darker shades? Cosmetics, not that inclusive. There's a word for that. It's called intersectionality. If you care about one, you have to care about them all. Like, you can't pick and choose what. Like, I literally listened to that entire speech and it just felt like, this is what I experienced. This is me. It felt like such a me. And we are all limited to our own personal experiences. I am not blaming her for that. But what I'm saying is I highly doubt you really sat there and wrote that whole speech without really truly looking at it from all different angles. Because you cannot even have that conversation without ignoring one of the biggest problems that the beauty industry has had from the beginning, and that is the diversity in skin tones. Like, there's no way. So you either purposely left it out of the conversation because you don't care, or two, you didn't want to look like a hypocrite. Well, if you didn't want to look like a hypocrite, you should just sat there in the audience like everybody else was, okay, and pass the torch to NAR. And look, I am so pro woman. I am so pro started from the bottom. I am so pro self-made, but the fact that this person made $1 billion, excluding out an entire group of people who have been vocalizing, hey, we're here, we'd love to try your stuff, and they have been ignored for years. And this lady is still uber successful based off of doing the exact opposite of what she preaches. Now do y'all see why I be so mad sometimes? Stuff that I see, and this is the stuff that I don't even talk about. Like, I'm really tired of the hypocrisy. I really am. And the double standards. And the fakeness. I'm just honestly, like, really tired of people of darker skin being left out of the conversations about inclusivity. I really, truly am. I'm tired of Black women being left out of the conversations. I'm tired of Black men. I'm tired of trans women. I'm tired of trans men being left out of the like, it's like y'all are only so inclusive, and then it's like baby steps. But people, I know for a fact, people have been complaining to It Cosmetics about their products for years, and for years they have been saying, we're gonna expand it. Even I've had people that even work for It Cosmetics have told me, like, oh yeah, they've been talking about expanding. Now look, if you don't take that $1 billion and go to a lab somewhere, go to Italy, go to Florida, call Becca's headquarters and tell them to help you out. What is taking so long? Girl, just think about that for a second, okay? Someone actually made $1 billion. $1 billion. $1 billion. Creating a line that literally acts like dark-skinned people don't exist. She made $1 billion. Now she's on stage talking about, y'all need to clean it up, guys. And think about what images or what standards of beauty we put out there for the world. Oh. Really? But Black people were conveniently left out of that conversation, though. I guess we don't count. I guess we don't really count. These brands are just gonna keep doing the same thing over and over again. They don't care. They don't care. You know what? This is why, like, low-key, high-key, though, like, high-key, the Too Faced thing, was such a big deal for me, because it was like, someone finally took action. You know what? No matter what you think about Too Faced, no matter what you think about Jared, it's not my business. I don't care. But some of the criticisms that I saw were, and not that people aren't allowed to criticize. You absolutely are allowed to have an opinion. But some of the people were like, well, why did they have to hire on, a black girl to fix the foundations for them? They should already figure that out. And I'm like, what? Like, how you gonna complain about a brand giving a black woman a seat at their table? Like, I'm sorry, what is there to critique about that? I don't really think people looked at that from all angles. Like, that's what you would want. You would want people of color in the decision-making, meetings and making those decisions. That's a job opportunity. Like, that's what you would want, is to say, here, like, we want to bring somebody straight from that community to help us. I mean, that's the way that I see it. I feel like that's where a lot of brands go wrong, is when they exclude people from those opportunities. That's just the way that I looked at it. But anyway, that's why that opportunity was such a big deal to me, because it really kind of hasn't been done with an influencer. Now look, I'm a solutions-driven person. If you really, really want to be inclusive of the beauty community, here's how you can do that, okay? 1, make products for as many people as you can, okay? I'm not going to say everyone, because I get it. Not every brand can literally make a product for everyone. But there should be an ultra light, just like there should be an ultra dark, okay? 2, you have to make it known that your products exist. So, I don't want to just see one shade on your Instagram page. I don't want to just see one shade on your mailers. I'm talking about people, okay? I don't want to see one shade on your ad campaigns, your messaging, your pre-roll ads on YouTube, on Google, wherever. Okay, your marketing should be just as consistent as, oh, my Lumi dad. Your marketing should be just as consistent as the products you offer. Would you like it if you went to a restaurant and you were the only vegan and everyone's eating except for you because there's no vegan options, and then you get up and walk away, and then the restaurant owner is like, hey, why didn't you eat anything? And you're like, well, I'm vegan. And then they're like, oh, we have a vegan menu. It's just not on the menu. Like, how am I going to know that there's something for me to offer if you don't show it to me? I mean, in beauty, it's the same thing. So homegirl, first of all, needs to offer something darker than ashtray. Okay, let's have something darker than a Cuban cigar, first of all, and then switch it up. Let's start seeing 2 or 3 dark models when you go on QVC or whatever the live TV show. You know what to do, okay? Put just as much effort in your dark demographic as you do your light one, okay? How about that? Until then, there are plenty of people of color who are going to continue having these conversations until people actually acknowledge them and listen to them. While you benefit off of those same conversations that really are not even genuine. So, over it. It's still just so funny to me how, like, even in the conversation of diversity, diverse people don't even get to be at the forefront of the conversations themselves. It's very interesting to me. It's very interesting. Go ahead, girl. Go off, girl. You told them. Woo! Standing ovation.
Okay, so listen, I know that was long, but I think it was important to hear because regardless of what you think of Jackie, whether you like her or not, in addition to producing content for her channel, she consistently uses her platform to educate, and I respect that. I mean, let's face it, these days most influencers are almost robotic in that their content is the same, their backdrops and lighting setup is the same, they all drive a G-Wagon, they go to Yoli Glow for facials, and are stacked to the tits with Cartier bracelets. It's fucking robotic at this point, and I'm happy to see an influencer stepping out of the influencer cookie cutter and using their platform to show you that you do not need to conform to a mold to be successful, and not only that, you can have a voice and use your platform to make a difference and affect change in the industry, and I respect Jackie immensely for that. For your reference, let's take a look at the current shade range available at IT Cosmetics. First up, we have the Your Skin But Better CC Cream, which up until very recently only consisted of 4 shades. They recently added 3 shades to the lineup, being medium tan, rich, and deep. So prior to adding those 3 shades, this is what the shade range looked like. Tan was the darkest shade available for this product for a long time. But even with the addition of the 3 new shades, there's still really only 2 shades for people with darker complexions to choose from, and that is not okay. In their Celebration Foundation, they currently only offer 5 shades, with the darkest being Rich. In their Bye Bye Under Eye Concealer, they recently added 2 shades being Deep Tan and Warm Deep. So prior to the addition of these 2 shades, the darkest shade available in this concealer was Tan. And even with the addition of these 2 shades, the range is still so far off from being inclusive. Would you have ever thought that a makeup company could sell for $1.2 billion and only offer 5 shades of foundation and 6 concealer shades? Girl. Drugstore brands are far more inclusive than IT Cosmetics. What is the issue here, really? Why haven't they included more shades in their range? Jackie is right. What is taking so long? People are literally asking for it, which in turn translates to more sales for them. So what is the tea, IT Cosmetics? Jackie made an interesting point referring to Jamie Kern Lima's speech when she talked about a quote from Oprah that inspired her. Jackie tweeted, "Did she really quote Oprah and Oprah wouldn't even be able to use her products? Girl." Even beauty blogger Temptalia spoke out and replied to Jackie's initial tweet and said, "My first thought upon seeing it," being the video, "blasted in my inbox. IT Cosmetics is infamous for its very limited shade range. I was like, what?" Anyway, you guys, I know this was a long one, but I feel like this was an important video for me to make to use my platform, even though I may not have millions of subs. I think if someone is willing to take the time to explain and educate, I'd like to be able to pass it on to my audience in hopes of opening other people's eyes as Jackie did for me. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll just leave you with this awkward photo of Jamie Kern Lima and Oprah. Bye!